So, for the first time since our first democratic elections on the 27th of April 1994, our beloved liberation movement failed to garner a majority of the vote. Out of the small sliver of South Africans who actually did bother to vote on the 1st of November, and remember 20 million registered voters stayed away, the ANC only managed to garner 46.4% of the vote. By anyone's standards, this is a disaster, a dismal, pathetic failure. Now, it is not me or anyone else, but it was President Cyril Ramaphosa and his National Executive Committee who decided that he would lead this campaign and that he would be the face of the campaign. They did so to such an extent that although it was a local government election, one was hard-pressed in many areas to find posters with the photos of candidates for the local wards. President Ramaphosa's face was everywhere, and it took us nowhere. The people of South Africa spoke, and they rejected him resoundingly. They rejected what the current leadership of the African National Congress has done to the ANC overwhelmingly. Now, myself, as a long-standing member of the African National Congress, I've now been a member for over 42 years, together with many, many other members of the ANC, are deeply distraughted by what this leadership had done to our beloved liberation movement. We reject this leadership that failed to maintain the African National Congress's preeminent position as the leader of society and the liberation movement that our people have confidence in. We reject their selling out to white monopoly capitalism. We reject them turning the ANC ideologically into a liberal rather than a full and proper liberation movement organization. I fully concur with the call that President Jacob Zuma made last Friday, when he said that under these circumstances, the membership, the branches of the African National Congress must gather themselves, decide what has to be done, and get rid of this failed leadership. I've been clear throughout that this leadership have to go. During the campaign for this local government elections that I participated in, I consistently called on our membership and voters to vote for the African National Congress. But I was also crystal clear that such a vote cannot be for the current failed leadership, including the dismal failure that President Cyril Ramaphosa is. Thus, I have supported to the fullest the campaign under the hashtag Ramaphosa must go over the last couple of days, especially after the election results became known. I'm happy that that hashtag campaign has trended as one of the most prominent and most popular tweets for the last couple of days, and I hope that that will continue. We now have to take decisive action as members of the African National Congress, but also as a South African society in general, and insist that this current failed leadership of the African National Congress, with specific reference to President Ramaphosa, have to go. I call on our members to mobilize, to organize themselves within their branches, to gather in mass gatherings, but specifically to use the structures of the ANC to not only deliver the message that Ramaphosa must go, but to act on it and to make sure that it happens. A few days ago, late in the evening, I received a message from a very senior member of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, threatening me that I've continued with his views, that I will lose my membership of the ANC. Now that member knows who she is. She knows what she's doing. But she must understand very clearly that I will never be intimidated by her or by any other person, whether it's a member of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress or whoever. I've noted that in the past, comrades in the African National Congress, or so-called comrades, such as Ronald Lamola, Derek Hanekom, Praveen Gordon, and many others, have called that President Jacob Zuma should go when he was still president of the ANC. Nothing happened to them. The 101 veterans were making that call. There were so-called ANC comrades marching in the streets in the cities of South Africa under the Save South African campaign, calling without any falter, without any holding back, that President Zuma had to go. But today, when President Cyril Ramaphosa is destroying the African National Congress, when he brought the worst possible election vote ever in the history of the ANC back to Niehaus, I and others must be threatened for saying that he should go. We have got absolute, conclusive evidence and reason to do so. We will not stop doing so. We will not be threatened that we will lose our membership. You see, the African National Congress is in our blood, in our bone and in our marrow. We have not become members of the ANC through signing some ANC membership card. We joined voluntarily when the ANC was still a banned organization, when there was nothing material to gain from ANC membership. We joined out of conviction. We sacrificed our lives. We saw some of our fellow comrades making the ultimate sacrifice and laying down their lives for this liberation. We will not allow it to be compromised. We will not allow the ANC to be destroyed. We will not allow our people to continue to be the servants of white monopoly capitalism. Those who think they can change the African National Congress and turn it, instead of an instrument of liberation, to a hollowed out tool of white monopoly capitalism, have got something coming. They better look out. We are not going to allow it. Enough is enough. So my dear comrade, you can send me messages in the middle of the night threatening me. You can write me letters to tell me that you're going to discipline me. You can write letters to other members of the African National Congress. You can use and manipulate the legal system to suspend the Secretary General of the ANC. You can illegally, without even a proper court case, imprison President Jacob Zuma. But you will not silence us. You will not silence us. Now we are going to campaign like never before. We will garner our strength. We will organize. And eventually we will prevail. Ramaphosa must go.